Okay, so this ACT hack, again, involves a graphing calculator. I'm going to use a TI-84 Plus Silver Edition. It's not the newest version, but it's not the oldest. The feature I'm going to be using in this video is the STO feature. It stands for store. So essentially, we're going to store numbers for variables. And this is a really good button to use anytime a problem wants you to simplify or factor or just rewrite an expression in a different way. So basically, if there are x's in the problem and x's in the answer, then you can probably use this feature to help you solve it if you don't know the right mathematical way to do it, because this one does take some time. So let's look at a problem. Okay, so this problem, first note, it's number 37. So that's definitely a slightly harder problem considering the test gets progressively harder. So if you don't know how to solve this one the mathematical way, I'm going to show you how the calculator can help. So we want to store a number for x. Essentially, we're going to store a number for x in the original problem. Doesn't technically matter what number you want to store, the number that you do store, but in general, as a general rule of thumb, I always like to pick like an odd prime number just to make sure I don't get like a really weird case where the number I pick actually works for multiple correct answers. So I'm going to store 7 for x. And really, I just like to pick 7 because that's like my lucky number. It's an odd prime number. Has nothing to do with the fact that there's a 7 in the problem. So to do this, and I've got the steps over here, but I'm going to press 7 in my calculator. And then there's this button for store right here next to the 1 key. And then X. And then enter. So 7 is stored for X. Don't worry, this doesn't affect graphing. You can pretty much, you don't really even have to redo this step later on. Once you store 7 for X, you're good for now on. And basically, I'm going to type in the original problem just like it looks. Another graphing calculator hack is alpha y equals, and then choose number 1, numerator over denominator, and it gives you a nice fancy fraction. And then you can type in 4/5. You can use the arrow keys to navigate out of the fraction, and then plus, and then I'm going to do alpha y equals number 1, and then I'm going to type in the problem. Again, this takes time, but if you don't know how to do it, this is going to give you the correct answer. So I get 9/5. So now I need to type in each one of these answer choices and see which one of these answer choices also gives me 9/5. 9/5 is not the answer. It's just what the original problem simplifies to when you substitute 7 for x. It's not answer choice A, but it is answer choice B. When I type in answer choice B, it also gives me 4/5. So anytime the problem wants you to simplify, there's an X in the problem, there are X's in the answers. That's a big hint that the STO feature could work for you. I encourage you to practice this one. The great thing about the STO feature, we've already stored 7 for X. So you don't have to redo that first step. You don't have to, all you've got to do is you go straight in to typing in the original problem, which is x raised to the 2/3. And I'm having trouble typing in x raised to the 2 divided by 3 power. Gives you that big old ugly decimal. Now type in your 5 answer choices. See which one also gives you x raised to the 2/3. So the cube root of x squared also gives me that big old ugly decimal. If you want to know how I type that in, I press the math button, number 4 for cube root. Oops. Math button, 4 for cube root, and then x to the 2nd power. And that's how I got that answer.